Good morning, everybody. So, had a car scare. As you know, I got the new van. Drives great and everything. The other day, last night, it was all hot, so me and the wife and the kids went to go run them out. Excuse me, just ate again. We went to go run them out at the mall. There was air conditioning. And as we were leaving on the way home, the van all of a sudden wouldn't shift out of first. You know, the nightmare when you buy a used car. Uh-oh, tranny's out. And it's fixed. It was just really low on, like, empty on fluid. And this thing happened on my other van that was similar. This is a 2010 Dodge Caravan. My other van was an 09 Town & Country. Almost the exact same everything. And I don't know what happened, but it was about the same gas mile, or same mileage reading, about 130. I think they had just done something with the steering rack or whatever, and I don't know what else. Something that had to do with the axle, and I don't know if it was just dry already or if they leaked a little bit. And this one had some work done before we got it on the steering and whatnots, some stuff attached to the axle. But it happened in the other van too. It was bone dry. Wouldn't shift out of the first gear. So, and these ones, you don't have a dipstick for the transmission. You gotta do something special. It has a little hole, and what you do is you use your oil dipstick, clean it off real good. You don't want any petroleum type stuff in your transmission, and you use that to measure. And you want to get two measurements. One when it's cold at like 60 degrees, and this morning it was 60, so I got to get that reading, and I didn't even have enough. I put 1.5 quarts in it and still didn't get a reading. You do it while it's running for the transmission, and so I still got to put more in there, which reminds me I got to get some more. But it's driving good now. But then the only difference was on this one, I looked underneath, and yeah, that case is kind of caked with some funk. So hopefully, I'm thinking it's just a gasket. And the gasket's right in the front there. All you do is unscrew it and let the fluid that's in there drain out. Get a new gasket, put it on, and just slowly tighten around. Use star patterns. So tranny isn't totally out. Probably just the gasket, which is good. It's an easy fix compared to getting a whole new tranny. Now we're hopping to a different job. I ran some errands this morning. Got some hinges for the kitchen at that house that we've been at, but they're carpeting today, so I got that second room painted just in time. It's just a lot of juggling when you're trying to juggle home life and work and blah blah blah. And so they're carpeting there. Got hinges for my next couple of tasks I gotta do in there. Gotta write some invoices and whatnot, and go start this other one. It's gonna be a steamer today. It's just a little demo inside though, and maybe hose off the deck for staining later. He wants to stain it tomorrow. It's supposed to rain tonight, so good luck with that being dry. So I gotta go get a couple more demo things from the garage. My little skill saw, maybe pick up a blade on the way there or something, and get to it. I think the wife is still on board with the transition stuff. She's nervous though. She doesn't want to leave. She still thinks that they're gonna get pushed into doing remote work or flex work, which they might. Like today, there's one person working in her thing when there's supposed to be 5. She's just there with Kaya. Kaya's easy to watch. She's pretty independent. And she's trying to tell her boss, like, dude, I could work today if you just get the green light. So just I can go to work, grab the computer, come home, and do some stuff. Like, what the heck? But like I said, they got their grant. They probably applied the at-home work for the upper echelon of that work hierarchy, so all the bosses can just not be there and say, hey, yeah, we did it. We got remote workers. People who are working remote anyways, they were never there. They pop in to say hi and drive off in their whatever expensive car they got from scamming off this poor community clinic. The other CEO did it, and this one's doing it too. But that's just how it goes, man. It's really unfortunate, though. This community clinic helps a lot of immigrants and Native Americans, pretty much people without insurance yet. And but even that's getting hard because it's just they're doing weird stuff. Like they took out the pediatrician unit, and they're like, yeah, any doctor can do that. Which is kind of retarded because that was one of their big money makers, mainly because of vaccines. Everybody coming and getting their vaccines. It's big money. It's easy. Here's a shot. Here, give me, charge whoever money. And like, but for anything else, they're just gatekeepers to send them off to a specialist. Well, people aren't going to pay out of pocket for a specialist. But yeah, they took that out. And no, not any doctor can do pediatrics. It's a total different beast. Which is funny. Everybody who's like for all these vaccines, all these adults, ask them, are you up to date on your adult vaccines? Guarantee they're going to say no, but they want their kids all juiced up on the shit. It's retarded. Alright, we're at the new job site. This is a bathroom I got a gut. Said leave the shower for now. It's teeny tiny. It's not going to take a whole lot. The only problem is, well, for one, tiles get heavy, but the problem I don't like is you gotta haul it all up the stairs. And he doesn't have a dumpster, so I'm assuming chuck it all in the garage. Let's see what's in here. But you can't chuck it all in the garage because he's got all of his stuff in here. So I'll just get it out of the bathroom, I guess. And then we just gotta hose off this deck. So we're gonna stain it tomorrow. Easy peasy. Alright, so we just got done with the demo. And I was gonna, it's a small bathroom, I wasn't gonna videotape it, and there's not, it is what it is. It's demolition. There's an order to it. You know, you obviously take the vanity and the toilet out before you start destroying the walls. When you do, you want to cap off the water lines. You don't want to leave those open. Valves go out all the time. I haven't had one go out on me. The worst I did is I put a screw through a water pipe. But I had to put that, there's a special putty you can put on it. I'm probably supposed to replace the whole thing, but it holds. And but anyways, yeah, and if you're doing tile, I had a tile wall. Try to take it out in chunks. It's just easier. Of course, the wife's calling. When are you gonna get home? Are you gonna go get water? Remember my special water or whatever? I mean, it's kind of a chore to go get it. It's way out. Like, well, it's a little drive. She was at home with the girl all day today. I'm like, why can't you go get it? You're literally on your way that way anyways, going to the mall. All she does is shop. Shop. Shops every day. Buys something every day. Whether it's online, every day there's some Amazon package showing up. Oh, I needed this. You really needed that? And she does get that from her mom. It's kind of just keeps buying all these things to the point where the house gets so cluttered. You don't know where you put the thing you bought, so you got to buy another one. And the strategy is just have so many, they just pop up when you need one. So it is what it is. And she spent some time in Uganda. I don't know if I told you guys, but when they come over here, if they have a kid, they'll leave them back home with whoever for like 6 years. Because it takes like 5 or 6 years for them to get to being able to bring family over anyways. Get their citizenship or whatever. So when she was little, she went without. And then when she got here, all her mom did was work. And what they do is, as an excuse to hoard all their money and everything, they'll go shopping for themselves and they'll live the dream, but their kids will have to live like they did. You know, they have to know the struggle. It builds character and all that stuff. So they got their kids running around in rags, like not buying them winter coats and stuff. They just don't care. When we took on that, all right, how do I put this? I don't even know if I told you this story. So after the house burnt down, we were in a hotel for a month. The mother-in-law, instead of getting the house going, she switched gears and decided to buy an investment house, a total rehab, and spent all of her time doing that. So we could all move into that, and there's a financial reason for that we're not going to get into right now. And she basically delayed. Anyways, we ended up in a rental from a community member, a family member, people we know that don't take care of any of their rentals. They have a couple, and they're just slumlords. So me and the wife and the kids are stuffed in this basement because that's where the bathtub was. And then her brother, Jaja's brother, who's basically ignored his daughter like her whole life. She stayed over in Uganda until she was like 9, and when she came over, she didn't get to see her dad. He was just working, and she was left with his new wife and her 2 kids, and his new wife was beating the shit out of her. And he just, when she told him about it, he just said, well, just listen to her, she won't beat you up. Like, it's not that kind of beat up. So anyway, she had her issues. She ended up in the psych ward for harming herself and puking and all this stuff. What is that? Anorexia. And then this dude got a divorce because he's just a loser. So he went through the divorce, and he's homeless. And this girl was already living with some of his friends for like 5 years. And they're really high narcissism. She couldn't take it. She has more of a free spirit personality. She didn't even know what was happening to her. Narcissism was very sneaky. And it was just, she was just getting so gaslit. She didn't even know why she was harming herself or anything. Anyways, so it got to the point where finally she started telling the authorities at school. And these people have a reputation to uphold. So they chucked her right into the psych ward. And the wife of this couple that took care of her works in behavioral health. Just some sinister stuff. But anyways, so when she's getting out of this psych ward, these people wouldn't take her back because they're going to get a smudge on their name, and they run for all these little Ugandan office seats. And he couldn't take her back because he can't handle a daughter for one, and he didn't even have an apartment. So they asked us to take her on, and I'm like, we wanted to take her on when she was 9. This girl's been suicidal since she's 9. And I'm like, I don't want her now. I got 2 kids. I don't know how bad she is. And even if you guys gave me her medical records, it probably won't even tell me half. And you guys, even if you did give me verbal information, you probably don't have a clue what you're talking about. Like, I don't know how jacked up she is. I got enough on my plate. We just had the house fire. I'm trying to keep my business going out of 3 garages, blah, blah, blah. Kids at home sick all the time, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I just heard squealing. And So then a couple weeks later, they're like, she's coming. They dropped this girl off. It's the end of fall. It's about to snow in a week. With a suitcase and this little tiny bed, this kid's bed that don't even fit her. She looks like a full-grown woman at 15. Full figure, full-grown, tall as me. She's in this little kid's, like, I think it was a twin bed, but still, her head and her feet couldn't even, like, she couldn't even spread all the way out. No coat, no boots, no mittens. They weren't going to help us financially take care of this girl. Her dad wasn't going to say thank you or help us financially. And then they call and rag on her and gaslight her every other night. And he stops by and they stop by whenever they feel like it. And then just, like, take her places. And, like, berate her while they're doing it. And every time they did that, she would relapse. And I'm like, you guys got to give her some space. This ain't nobody listening to nobody. Anyways, I did what I could. She got a crash course in Jeffism for like 6 months. And when we started getting CPS involved, because we're like, you got to at least give us $100 a month. You couldn't even do that. And you can't keep on stopping over when you feel like. He couldn't do that either. And even CPS was telling him, you can't do that. So anyways, they didn't like that authorities were involved. So they're like, well, the family that was watching her got her dad an apartment, some real shithole, and they yanked her out of our care, never gave us any rights anyways. We couldn't even get her treatment or anything. We couldn't do anything that had to do with a doctor. And they weren't doing it. For 6 months, fresh out of the ward, they wouldn't let her get any help at all. Anyways, she did just fine. She wasn't the problem at all. It was just her environment. And I don't even remember my initial point of all this, but I kind of do. But anyway, sorry about the rant. So they eventually yanked her out of our care, and before she left, I just said, give them hell. And she did. She broke that dude. They weren't going to let her work or do anything or get a driver's license. They keep you under their thumb and dependent on them, eating only the little slave food that they make. And he's not a cook. She's getting sick off their food, or off of his food and stuff. And he was never there. She's vulnerable. She's still sick in the head. And he's gone, like, all the time, overnight, leaving this girl alone in this little crappy apartment by herself, with knives and whatever, to her own means, drinking and stuff. And that was just, it's for the better that she left. It seemed like she helped a lot, but it almost seemed like more work. Because you got a teenager. We've never had a teenager before. You just drop a teenager, a kind of messed up teenager too, just right on her lap. And she's smart in some ways, but she had the mentality of like a 5-year-old still. And she, like, really got along with Kaya because of that age. She was like right on her level. It was really weird. But I think that's why Linda shops and does the same thing her mom does. When it's the extremes, you just overcompensate, and when you God, I'm sweating now because I don't have my AC on, because otherwise it sounds more like crap. And then they don't have nothing, and then when they get old enough and they have their job, they just start collecting and collecting. They throw nothing away. It's a little bit, it's some mild hoarding. Which drives me insane because I'm super neat. You can tell which areas of the house are mine and which ones are my wife's. Let's just put it that way. Mine are generally open and very organized, and then, like, my side of the couch, the little stand, is, like, clean. And her little corner on her side of the couch and her stand is just... Same with our beds. My side, good. Her side, just a pile. But whatever, everybody, you know, when you get together, everybody's got their things. My pastor said something that stuck with me, and because ain't nobody perfect, and if you find someone who is, you got a big problem. But he said, you got to find someone who you can tolerate. They're crazy, who matches your crazy. Like, I can handle Linda's crazy, but I can't handle another chick's crazy. And she can handle my crazy, because I go through loops, man. But she can't handle other people's crazy. So you gotta find, it's not the attributes that you like as much that you should go for. It's you find if you can handle their crazy. If you can handle all the things, all the negative things that they do, because they're gonna do them and keep doing them. And if they do change, it takes years to change it. If you can handle that, then you're good. The good stuff is just the good stuff. Everybody's got good stuff too. That's not the stuff you have to worry about. Unless they're like super duper hot. I kind of worry. I get a little insecure with that. Like, Jesus. Running around just attracting everyone. But yeah, the main goal, I think, in a relationship is, do I vibe with her crazy? Because, I mean, I'm talking about nuances, like pet peeves, up to like a fight. Because I used to date women, you don't want to fight. Like, these are Golden Gloves type chicks. Their brothers and cousins were whatever, gang members or whatever. When stuff will be thrown, if there's a wrench around, you better duck. You better not buy a nice TV, because you know in a month she's gonna flip her lid and that sucker's gonna get tipped. I've had that, and at that time I was just drunk all the time, so I gave 0 Fs. But when you're getting serious, you got to be able to handle people's stuff, and everybody has different tolerances. Not everybody could tolerate me. I'll drive you nuts if you let me. So anyways, that's all I got. I'm frying here. I gotta put my AC back on.